Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, of course, it is a myriad of different things, particularly centering around Kamala Harris and Tim Walz over the weekend with 60 Minutes and how that was a complete disaster for both of them. Because in various clips that I'm going to show you, and unfortunately I can't play them because I tried, and the original top story got a copyright strike for non-monetization. I didn't want to leave the strike there. I don't mind doing videos without monetization. I just didn't want the strike to be there. So we're just going to talk about those clips. But I found this interesting too from the New York Post. Kamala Harris says insomnia hit after Biden dropped out. She was sleep deprived the day of Walz picks. Now, you know and I know, because we've been paying attention now for the last 6 years, is that the establishment uni-party is the one who's in control of these picks. The establishment uni-party has hijacked our culture. They have hijacked our institutions. They have hijacked our justice system. They're trying to hijack our language. They're trying to hijack the Second Amendment. There's various things that they try to do to maintain control, and they're desperate right now. And this idea here, as Harris continues with these sorts of lines of reason, I was going to say excuse, but I'm just going to call them lines of reasons to be as fair as I can, but these things aren't going to fly in the face of Americans. So I don't know how people are still undecided, but Vice President Kamala Harris revealed Monday that she suffered from insomnia after President Biden endorsed her as his successor, and that she was sleep deprived the morning she picked her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Now imagine that, how that process just unfolded between her being told she is now the candidate without having any primary votes, with no one having voted for her. She was selected, just like Joe Biden was selected. Now, for 7 months, people went to the primaries and voted for Joe Biden to be their candidate, but we've always known here on the BuzWeaver channel that he was, in fact, an establishment uni-party asset. And, but more importantly is, I noticed here on Twitter, I've already cleared all notifications and everything because from the previous video I did, but that there isn't as many of the, Harris and Walz supporters speaking. And for like the last 2 days, it has been very quiet because these interviews were absolutely abysmal. And in this particular one here, Bill is asking her about the border, and that he's saying, a quarter more immigrants have come in since the crisis started. So 4 times more than Donald Trump had. And then she says, yeah, but we cut that in half. Well, even if you cut it in half, that's still twice as much as Donald Trump had when they came in here. So he was asking her about that. And then she went on to say, well, we cut that in half. And then they also caught fentanyl in half. So they didn't do anything to stop it. And the thing here is, the president of the United States can close down the border. He doesn't need congressional approval. He doesn't need permission from anyone. He doesn't have to go through any of the additional executive branches. He can shut down the border. They never did it. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I encourage you guys to watch these. Now, maybe you watch the 60-minute interview, or you have other accesses to the 60-minute interviews, but I like that Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and others broke all these down. And so this was an interesting one from Tim. This might be the worst television interview by a candidate in U.S. presidential history. And then Bill asked her, you've changed your position so much, that no one believes anything. Harris, well, I'm the vice president and I travel a lot. Well, he went into her having been for fracking and then against fracking. Then he talked to her about having been strict on immigration policy and then loosening the immigration policy. And he went through like a myriad of different things that basically showed that she was flip-flopping back and forth. And that was her response. Well, I'm the vice president and I travel a lot. And she says, I have to be the candidate that people want to elect. But the thing could be something to the effect of, because she wasn't selected, I don't know if it was in this particular one. But the fact is, I just said, for 7 months, people have been voting in the primary for Joe Biden. So she was actually selected. And here is the same situation. Also from 60 Minutes, you're an illegitimate candidate, Kamala. And this is what CBS is telling her. You're an illegitimate candidate, Kamala. I'm protecting democracy. CBS, you're destroying democracy. Kamala, just wait. It's just, the responses are not what a rational, cogent, sober-minded person would understand as a response to a question, right? And so her and Tim Walz never genuinely answered a question with a specific answer. In other words, details about the answer, examples of an answer, substance of an answer, or goals oriented in reference to the question. It was all diversion, diversion, diversion. And same thing happened with Tim Walz. And so Bill here is asking him about Tiananmen Square, him saying that he had gone to Hong Kong during the time of Tiananmen Square, which he never did. And he says, and you are saying that it's because you're a knucklehead. And so Tim never answered the question about why he was a knucklehead or why he said he was in Hong Kong during the summer. He never said a single word about it. He said that, yeah, I'm a knucklehead. I say things, but people know who I am. They know that what I say is true, and Donald Trump is a pathological liar. So, here's the example of 60 Minutes and Bill Whitaker. Is it Bill Whitaker? Yeah, Bill Whitaker saying face-to-face, eye-to-eye to Tim Walz, basically in a polite way, that you said you were in Hong Kong when you weren't, and you said that this was during Tiananmen Square, and it wasn't. And instead of trying to come up with something other than just, I'm a kind of guy that everyone knows and that you can trust, he then has to say that Trump is a pathological liar, when he himself, on camera, eye-to-eye, is denying it. So he's basically lying. And then, of course, no one should take for granted that they just declare themselves a candidate and automatically receive support. You have to earn it. She didn't. We saw it right here. We saw it right here. Vice President Kamala Harris revealed Monday that she suffered from insomnia after President Biden endorsed her as his successor. She wasn't selected. I mean, she was selected. No one voted for her in the primary. They were voting for Joe Biden. And that she was sleep deprived the morning she picked her running mate, Tim Walz. So she's trying to backtrack on all this stuff, and it's amazing. But if you haven't already, make sure you make it over to my channel and then go over to the Shorts tab and check out the video that apparently I could play, and just see the vacuousness, the vacuous responses, the emptiness of hers, because you and I all know what a question is. If someone says, hey, can you tell me what time it is? And we say, time is important. We all use time. And with time, we make schedules and we make plans. And we also use a calendar to help base our decisions on time. Now, that doesn't tell them what time it is. It doesn't give an answer. And that's what it sounds like when her and Tim Walz are speaking. They don't give an answer to what's being directed towards them. It's absolutely extraordinary. But I apologize that I couldn't get the video out that I would have wanted, because I wanted you guys to see all these clips. And of course, you can pause the video and then look these up yourself on Google, or go there and go directly to into that. So I know I'm going through it real quick, but you can go back and pause on each of them. And I would encourage you to check them out, because they are, I mean, like I said, I have not seen any of the typical Harris supporters or Walz supporters posting that much in the last 2 days. It's just been quiet. I mean, they rarely say anything, because this was absolutely abysmal. But I want to thank all you guys across NewTek, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. And of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to. So if you're an Amazon Prime member or order frequently from Amazon, I have my links down below. You guys can use those to help out the channel. But you can also help out the channel, like all of you guys here on YouTube, by liking and subscribing and commenting down in the comment section. I'd like to get your thoughts on whether or not you saw the 60-minute interview, what your thoughts are. Are you an undecided voter at this point? I can't imagine that anyone who watches the channel would be undecided at this point, but it's absolutely extraordinary. But appearing there on the channel, that'd be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notification. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.